Once again, the Church of God of Prophecy is proud to honor the pioneers of the faith who contributed to God's movement in the state of Florida. Join us for part 2 as we continue to honor Bishop Herman E. Dean, narrated by Bishop Dean's grandsons, Corey and Kayvon.
In 1952, after 17 years of pastoral service in Long Island, Bishop Dean answered God's call to expand his ministry beyond the Bahamas. He moved his family to Miami, Florida, where he became an active participant in the local church community. In 1955, he was appointed pastor of a small church in Opelika, Florida. Despite the challenges of limited resources, Bishop Dean's faith and leadership began to make an impact. In 1956, after a year in Opelika, Bishop Dean was transferred to Belgrade, Florida, where his ministry began to flourish. The church was small, but his passion for evangelism led him to work with labor camps in surrounding areas like Clewiston, South Bay, and Pahokee. Each Sunday, he conducted services for hundreds of workers from across the United States and the Caribbean. Many of these individuals returned to their homes, spreading the gospel to new areas. Bishop Dean's next appointment took him to Fort Lauderdale, where he encountered struggles, including interference from local law enforcement authorities. Despite these setbacks, his faith remained unshaken. After his tenure in Fort Lauderdale, Bishop Dean moved to Hollandale, where he mentored and trained future leaders of the church, including several bishops who would go on to lead congregations throughout South Florida. In 1967, Bishop Dean was appointed to the Homestead Church, where he continued to serve faithfully for 4 years. Following his assignment in Homestead, he was appointed to the Miami No. 1 Church in 1970. It was here that he made some of his most significant contributions to the church community. In addition to his service as pastor of several churches in the South Florida area, Bishop Herman Dean also served as the district overseer for churches in Florida, District 1, which included all of the Church of God of Prophecy from Liberty City to Key West. On May 26, 1973, while on his way to Key West to prepare for a district fellowship meeting, Bishop Dean was involved in a serious head-on collision that nearly took his life. As a result, he would be placed in a full-bodied cast for 6 months and suffered permanent disfiguration to one of his legs. Due to this injury, he was temporarily relieved of active duty as pastor of the Miami No. 1 Church. Through the merciful hand of God, he would fully recover from his injuries and resume pastoring the Miami No. 1 Church. Under his leadership, the church grew and many souls were saved. He was also instrumental in the construction of a new 500-seater sanctuary and the expansion of its community programs, including a daycare center where enrollment averaged to more than 130 children. Bishop Herman Ezekiel Dean retired from his pastoral ministry in 2001 after 64 and a half years of dedicated service. Even in retirement, he continued to be involved in various church activities until his passing on February the 7th, 2015.
As we reflect on his extraordinary life, it is clear that Bishop Dean was more than just a pastor. He was a pioneer, a leader, a loving husband, a responsible father, and a dependable friend. Most of all, he was a servant of God whose impact can still be felt today. His legacy lives on through the countless lives he's touched, the churches he's served at, and the leaders he's mentored. Much of his life and more, like the details of a near-death experience resulting from an automobile accident in Marathon, Florida, while heading to a district fellowship meeting, the power of God moving so mightily during a service that one of the female members who was presumed dead suddenly being brought back to life, and of course, the numerous achievements and honors not mentioned in this brief soundbite compiled into 2 episodes of this mini documentary and contained in the book written and published in 2012, Ezekiel, Yuma's Native Son. It is evident, though, that by the life Bishop Dean lived, he understood that accomplishments are great, achievements are noteworthy, and accolades are commendable. But the true and valued testimony is measured by the servant heart with which embodied him and is grafted in his DNA. On this Black History Month, we honor Bishop Herman Ezekiel Dean, a true hero of the faith, a voice through which God spoke, and a hand through which God helped. Kendrick, Corey, and I, and the entire Dean family want to leave you with this bonus track, a pre-recorded message from Bishop Herman Ezekiel Dean, which was played at his homegoing celebration 10 years ago. It still resonates in the hearts and minds of many as the way to live with purpose is to die fulfilling that purpose, contending for the faith, as he did throughout his life and ministry. We hope you enjoyed this reflection of the ministry and life of a man that journeyed from the woods of Mortimer's Long Island to a mansion on the streets of gold in the kingdom of God.
On my way to the Kenyan land, where the soul of man never dies, where there will be no parting, for the soul of man never dies. I'm thanking each and every one of you for your wonderful blessing towards me. I appreciate each and every one who have attended my funeral, and my children, all of them, I appreciate all of you and all of the family and friends. I appreciate you very highly for what you done in behalf of me and for what you rendered to me to my funeral. I am happy to go to heaven and Jesus, and I'm thanking you for all that you've done in behalf of my ministry. I appreciate each and every one to the very highest, all of our bishops and friends, and I thank you immensely from the bottom of my heart for being so kind and so generous to me and my family. And I'm going on to glory, and I want to meet you, and when you come, or when I get over there, I want to meet those who gone before me, and you all have a wonderful time. Thank God for all of you. Appreciate you very highly, and may God bless you. It's my sincere prayer. Thine is the Lord, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. He hath founded it upon the seas. He established it upon the flood. Who shall ascend unto the hill of the Lord? And who shall stand in his holy place? He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, who hath not lifted up his soul unto vanity, nor someone deceitfully, but received the blessing from the Lord and the righteousness of the God of his salvation. Thank you very much, every one of you, immensely. God bless all of you. Look forward to meeting me in heaven. Goodbye and goodbye. Goodbye and farewell.
hope you've enjoyed our celebration of just a few of our Black brothers and sisters who have contributed to the work of the Church of God of Prophecy in the state of Florida. It has been our honor to bring you this series.
We would like to thank Bishop Nawuddin for spearheading this project and reaching out to each of the families to collect this historical information. There are many more who deserve to be honored, not only for their work in Florida and the church, but for the kingdom of God. May we always remember and honor these pioneers of the faith.